Hello everyone. In this video, I am going to show you the issues that I have encountered during my development. My only goal for this is to achieve or create a transparency control feature in Unreal Engine. Before we get started, just a little bit of information. I am using Unreal Engine 5.2.1. I am using a plain new Unreal project, so there are no um, many adjustments in the default configurations of the Unreal. In the level, um, as you can see, I only have the actor, some lighting, camera, post-process volume. For the post-process volume, I only change the exposure settings. This is just for the auto exposure thing in Unreal. The transparency that I want to control is the anatomy of a human. I will be using just two parts of the anatomy, which is the skin and the liver. For security or uh, privacy purposes, I will be using a simple material for it. So here I have sample mat 1 for the skin and sample mat 2 for the liver. Um, I already did so much research and did a lot of experiments. Big thanks to all people in this community who shared their experiences and provided some solutions. Now, I have here the mesh for the skin and it already has the sample matte material in it. The configuration of the sample matte one is this. It has a base color and opacity. The blend mode is set to translucent. The lighting mode is set to surface forward shading. For the blend mode, since I want to achieve some translucency effect, this is, I think, the best candidate. The opacity parameter is where I will control the opacity. Now, the first problem I encountered is this. As you can see, where is it? Yep. As you can see, if I move at the side of the model, I could see the arm from the other side, which ideally it should not. And apart from that, there are other parts too. As you can see here, uh, yeah, this the same goes for the liver. Uh, yep, here we can see the other parts behind where the camera is facing. So if we are going to look at the form model, this is how it looks like. So uh yeah, the we can see the liver instantly inside the skin, even if the opacity for both materials is still set to 1. And if we are going to look at the side, we can still see the parts behind or inside of this whole skin. Uh, so I already have played a lot of these settings available here in the material. For example, changing the ch translucency paths to before DOF, disabling the depth test, nothing really works. But I understand that based on the Unreal documentation, this is the natural behavior where you can, let's say, it kind of like messes up something. Um, but the only thing that fix this is by changing the translucency type to ray tracing, and this can be done in the post-process volume, translucency, and change the raster. So if we go here to the level, post-process volume, and here translucency, and you can see that it's set to raster. If we would to change it to ray tracing, and yeah, it basically solved the issue. Let me just get rid of the shadows. Then there you go. So as we can see, the lever is not visible anymore, and if I move around, it really worked just fine. but the opacity for this is still set to 1, and this also shows a new issue. So I'm going to adjust the opacity to, let's say, zero point 0.4, apply, and then so here, as you can see, by moving around the camera, it creates some uh, weird motion trail effect or whatever you call it. Uh, yeah, we can fix this by enabling the output velocity. A fun solution for this, just this one. So there's still a little few, but yeah. Now the lever is still visible as expected, but moving around, it now shows the problem that uh, I showed earlier in this video, and this motion blur thing effect shows up again. It's really hard to see in the I don't know. Let me try it again. Um, there's very little effect there. But yeah. So I've tried disabling the motion blur. This issue still shows. For example, let me just yeah, I already set it here, so I enabled it. I disabled it, sorry. But yeah, there's still a little bit effect there. But I don't know. Maybe this is just some hardware issue rendering. I am not sure. The next thing I tried was by changing the blend mode to mask. Let me just quickly revert all the things I've changed here. So for the ray tracing, okay, to raster shadows, okay, and then get back to the material, and then I'm going to change the blend mode to mask. Changing this to mask will not allow you to modify the opacity, but you can still modify it by using the new option called opacity mask. Let me just break this link, and then uh, now this value here won't work directly, so I have to use a new node called temporal AA. So this is the normal behavior if we're going to directly set this opacity to opacity mask, since this is just 0 to 1, and by using this temporal AA, it kind of change that behavior. So going to change this, and then let me just quickly change it to 0.4. So we have everything set. Let's have a look at our material. Sorry, model. Um, so here, without changing any in the post-process volume or to the other settings, all of the issues I mentioned earlier are fixed and are showing as intended. Um, the lever is showing as expected. If I move my camera around, the part behind of the skin material are not showing and conflicting anymore, and the lever has not been kind of like overlapped with the skin anymore. This is really my expected behavior for this feature that I'm trying to achieve. But as you have noticed, the result of the mask is not quite fit for this, as it is kind of like not showing smoothly anymore, like this, how do you call it, like the skin is like there's a lot of dots. But of course, as expected, since I am using the mask mode, I'm going to set it back to 1. Yep, so everything's good except that part. So the last thing I tried is this. I created a new material. Uh, I won't be explaining every node you see here. I just saw a video about this. There is a link in the description where I explain everything that you see here. But the main idea of this is not to render the pixels that are behind of some object or part of the model. Here I am using the translucent blend mode, and it just behaves as the same behavior as mask blend mode. Now I will change the material real quick. Uh, Wait, give me a sec here. Transparent matte. Uh, okay, here's the opacity. Yep, and then I need to change a little bit for the. I need to disable the exposure here, and then I need to set back the translucency type to ray tracing and the shadows to disabled, and I also need to adjust this refraction raise to 2. So here now most of the issues I showed earlier are not like showing anymore. For example, the um yeah, there's still a blur, but the behind, for the example, the arm is not showing. The liver is not showing even if the opacity is 1. Uh, if I change the opacity to 2.2, for example, here, so the liver is showing as expected. The arm is not visible if I look at this side, but now there's this last part of the arm that covers the liver, and this if I set the opacity to low, the motion blur effect is showing again. Yeah, those are the things I have tried. It solved some issues, but it also shows a new issue. Yeah, I'm still new of this Unreal Engine, so I might have not know of some of the terms in Unreal Engine. Maybe I'm not going on a path that is not the right way. So, if you guys have experience or know about these issues that I'm facing, I would really be interested to know how you guys have solved them. And yeah, it would be very much helpful if you could share your solutions for this because I am going on a roller coaster to achieve this. So, yeah, thank you.